welcome to the channel. I'm back to break down this 12-game MLB DFS slate on DraftKings and FanDuel. Before we get into it, if you do enjoy the content at any point in this video, if you could please take a moment to leave a like on this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell, that would be greatly appreciated. I'll be here all MLB DFS season long, breaking down these MLB DFS slates to help you guys become better MLB DFS players and help you guys win some money night in and night out. Put a lot of effort in these videos, trying to get to that 1,000 subscriber count before the end of the MLB season. So if you guys can help me with that goal, that would be greatly appreciated. In return, I promise I'm going to be working hard, giving you guys some valuable content every single day, if possible, on the channel as much as possible. So, yeah, go ahead and do that. If you are getting really serious about MLB DFS, I do offer a premium package. It's linked below in the description. You get access to all the same tools that I use in building my own DFS lineups. I think it's going to help you in a tremendous way if you are being serious. You're playing every single day. I would highly recommend investing in that. I think it's going to help you out in a tremendous fashion. And then if you stay tuned to the end of the video, I will be giving you guys my home run call of the day, fan favorite segment for the most part. So stay tuned to the end of the video for that. And with that being said, let's go ahead and start breaking down this slate today. As always, we're going to figure out the pitchers that we want to play first, and then we'll switch over to bats. And I like to figure out our pitchers by sorting the sheet by K rate. It's fantasy sports. We get points for strikeouts, and the top guy on the slate today is going to be Garrett Cole, taking on the Minnesota Twins. Comes in with a 37.7% K rate overall, 16.2 swing strike rate, 34.2% K rate against righties, and a 41.4% K rate against lefties. Really elite stuff across the board, and he's taking on a Minnesota squad tonight that I definitely think that he can be taking advantage of as far as the strikeout category is concerned. I'd have to think up and down. There's some strikeouts to be had in this lineup, and for that reason, he's both a heavy favorite, and I expect the strikeouts to be there as well. So a 188 favorite, expected to get the win. He comes in at 11.5 on FanDuel. Over on DraftKings, he's 11.2. And he definitely is the top option on the slate today for sure. Second on the list, we got Carlos Mejia taking on the St. Louis Cardinals. We've only seen a 8 innings pitch sample size out of him so far in his career, but he has looked really sharp. A lot of strikeouts to be had, a lot of good ground ball, fly ball stuff. Once again, we don't really have the highest sample size on him, so we can't really judge too much. But also keep in mind, he is more of a reliever arm. Last time he worked his way up to 50 pitches. Whether they're planning on continuing to really crank up his pitch count, I think that is the plan. Let's see, he should push up to around 65 to 75 on Wednesday. And you know, if he goes out there and pitches another game, there's a solid chance they're going to turn him into a full-time starter. So I would say maybe you could play him on DraftKings at 5.5 if you really need the salary. I don't really think you're going to need it on this slate. You could probably go to someone else that's a guaranteed full workload and feel a lot better about it. Shane McClanahan taking on the Washington Nationals. 30.4% K overall, 18.1 swing strike rate. Really good stuff. A 31.4% K rate against righties and a 26.1% K rate against lefties. Has definitely been a lot better against righties, so we do prefer to target him against right-handed heavy lineups. And when looking at his recent performances, as far as pitch count and all that stuff's concerned, he's been working his way up around 80 pitches. So I'm not exactly sure if they plan on stretching him out more. It's a similar situation where the guy's shown really good stuff. It's just like we need him to actually go out there and pitch a full allotment of innings. And I'm not exactly sure you're going to get that with him. So I'm not sure that really you should be trying to play McClanahan tonight either. Both those guys kind of fall in the same boat. Alek Manoah taking on the Chicago White Sox, young top prospect for the Toronto Blue Jays. 9 innings pitch sample size so far. Has given up quite a few fly balls. Also has been striking out quite a few hitters. Also has been much more effective against right-handed hitting so far. So that's about all that we can really speak on as far as he's concerned. Not the highest sample size in the world. He is priced at 9.7 on DraftKings. Over on FanDuel, they've got him priced at 8.5. Priced up like a guy that's really expected to do some good stuff out there. He had 5 Ks last time out, 4 earned runs against the Miami squad. Only 74 pitches in that one. Not the best start whatsoever. Taking on Chicago White Sox team tonight. That's even better than the Miami Marlins. I'm not really sure I'm getting all too excited to target him. He is a top prospect. I think he should be really good moving forward in his career, but I feel like on a slate like this, you don't need to get that risky when we have these other options. However, if you do get that risky, it might pay off for you big in tournaments. So, you know, whatever your risk tolerance is, feel free to go ahead and target him if you'd like. 27.4% K overall for Lance Lynn. He's next on the list, and ground ball fly ball stuff has been a bit of an issue at times, but he does have a 32.4% K rate against righties, which is a very good. His K rate against lefties dips down to a 22.6% K rate. So we do prefer to target him against very right-handed heavy lineups if at all possible, and he definitely gets one tonight in the Toronto Blue Jays. Marcus Semien, Bo Bichette, Vladimir Guerrero Jr., Oscar Hernandez, Randall Grichuk, Lourdes Gurriel. Pretty much the entire lineup up and down is right-handed heavy, except for the bottom of the lineup, and the left-handed hitters aren't exactly the most dangerous. So Lance Lynn I definitely think is a viable option. I don't think these guys have quite a bit as high of K rates as other teams on the slate that we'll talk about. However, with the talent of Lance Lynn and the fact that he strikes out so many right-handed hitters, and they are very right-handed heavy, I do think that he makes a lot of sense as a play today for sure. Once we get past him, you got Jake Odorizzi taking on the Boston Red Sox. They really just have him striking out a lot. I'm not all too interested in targeting him. Patrick Corbin taking on the Tampa Bay Rays. Really hasn't been good as of late. Really hasn't been good for quite some time. However, he's taken on a Rays team that's really struggled against left-hand pitching. And if there was ever a matchup for him to go out there and have a good game, this could possibly be the one. Comes in at 7-4 on DraftKings. Looking at his last start out there, he had 4 Ks, 4 earned runs. The time before that, 5 Ks, 4 earned runs. The time before that, 3 Ks, 4 earned runs. So consistently giving up like 4 runs. He's been rated in the 70 to 80 pitch count. Mostly because he's having a rough stretch here. So he's getting pulled from the game pretty early because he's been giving up runs. This might be a game where he can finally straighten that out. The Rays. I've been doing it all season long, targeting these Rays with left-handed pitching. It continues to work. It's going to be scary playing Patrick Corbin. I'm not saying it's not going to, but I think against this specific team with the strikeout rate that they have against left-handed pitching, it could pay off for you, and he could actually have a good game for once. So there's definitely risk to go along with playing him, but I think that he is a viable play today. And then as we go along here, we got Griffin Canning taking on the Kansas City Royals. He has a pretty good strikeout rate overall. However, the Orioles really don't strike out very much. Tony Gonzalen taking on the Pittsburgh Pirates, 24.5% K overall, a 26.2% K rate against righties, and a 22.9% K rate against lefties. Pretty solid across the board for sure. And he's taking on a Pittsburgh Pirates team that doesn't really scare us all too much. We can definitely target these guys. And as far as the Vegas lines are concerned and how this game's looking, he does come in as a 174 favorite. Now, as far as his pitch count is concerned and everything, if we pull up his game logs here, Tony Gonzalen, he's coming off the IL, so he's been activated from 60-day IL, and I'm not really sure how long of a leash he's going to have. So that's another long leash situation that we have with him. If he's completely good to go, we get confirmation on that. I think that he's a great play. If we find he's going to be limited, you might have to go do some price tag hunting. He's only 7K on FanDuel. Over on DraftKings, he's priced at 9-1. I'd have a lot more interest in him on FanDuel if he's some unlimited because it's a much friendlier price tag. So, Taiwan Walker taking on Baltimore Orioles will be the next guy I'm looking to. The Baltimore Orioles haven't been striking out the most actually on the season. If you really dig into the numbers, they are a team I do think has quite a bit of strikeouts in their lineups though. If they face a pretty good pitcher, and Taiwan Walker has been very good for the Mets. A 23% K rate overall, 21.8% K rate against righties, and a 24.5% K rate against lefties. So really good across the board. And as mentioned, I do think he's in a situation where he could definitely get quite a few strikeouts against this Orioles team. He comes in as a 156 favorite, and I think he could be an interesting option for you in tournaments. And then once we get past him, things start to really die down. And honestly, I'm not all too interested. We have some pretty good options at the top of the slate, the mid-range and the lower range. There's nothing really all too exciting to talk about once we get down here. So with that being said, let's go ahead and transition over to bat. As always, I like to go ahead and sort my sheet by Sierra, skill interactive ERA. It's a good way of determining how good a pitcher's been in the past and how good they're expected to be in the future. And the worst pitcher on the slate today is Vladimir Gutierrez taking on the Milwaukee Brewers. We're only dealing with a 10 innings pitch sample size, so unfortunately this doesn't mean too much. But ground ball, fly ball stuff hasn't been the best. He has been giving up quite a few runs, etc. The slugging hasn't been the worst either, though, so I'm not exactly sure I'm getting too excited to target him. And in these situations, I will oftentimes rely on Vegas data, and Vegas does have the Milwaukee Brewers with a 4.86 implied run total. So, with that being said, I might be getting a little more excited than I originally just said there. And then we're going to have to be digging into the pitch data against Vladimir Gutierrez. And then when you're factoring in that they're playing in the Great American Small Park, as we like to call it, in Cincinnati, it is a great hitting environment. Lots of home runs, lots of triples, lots of doubles to be had out there in the outfield. So I do like targeting this field. So the Milwaukee Brewers would definitely be an interesting stack. Second on the list, Tucker Davidson taking on the Philadelphia Phillies. Ground ball, fly ball stuff, all that stuff really isn't the greatest. He has a 429 slugging given up to right-handers. Lefties has been much more effective. He is a left-handed pitcher himself. And the Philadelphia Phillies righties are going to be the ones that are really sticking out the page against him for sure. Guys like Gene Segura, Rhys Hoskins, JT Realmuto, Andrew McCutchen, Alec Boehm, Ronald Torreyes, all those righties in that Philadelphia lineup tonight, I think will be an intriguing play taking on Davidson. Matt Harvey taking on the New York Mets has been absolutely dreadful. I think he's pretty much pitching for his career tonight. If he gets blown up again, I have a hard time believing he's going to remain in the bigs. He is on the Orioles, so maybe they need him to keep eating up some innings. But for the most part, I think this is a situation where, his career is pretty much on the line as far as the major leagues is concerned. He's been really bad across the board. I'm still willing to target him. I know, the guy's fighting for his life. That doesn't change the fact that he's been terrible, and I think it won't change the fact tonight. Ground ball, fly ball, hard contact, all that stuff has been terrible. I have 529 slugging given up to righties and a 570 slugging given up to lefties. Just really not good across the board, guys. And I think that's going to make for an intriguing Mets stack tonight for sure. In Baltimore, Jonathan VR, Francisco Lindor, Pete Alonso, Don Smith, James McCann, Billy McKinney, Jose Peraza, Mason Williams, Travis Blankenhorn, literally all up and down the order. I have no issues with stacking up this whole entire team. And I definitely think there's some sneakier names in the lineup with some power that people might not know about, like a Billy McKinney. Billy McKinney has quite a bit of pop from the left-hand side of the plate. Not many people are going to play him. He's in a good spot for sure. And then, of course, the guys in the middle of the order, you're always playing the elite bats and the Francisco Lindor, Pete Alonso, that kind of thing. That goes without saying. So, like the Mets stack, Chris Flexen taking on Detroit. Ground ball, fly ball stuff's been terrible. Strikeout stuff's been terrible. He gives up a 449 slugging to righties, a 451 slugging to lefties. Really just not that good across the board. And he has to take on the Detroit Tigers team tonight. That's probably one of the best matchups you could ask for. However, with that being said, it is 84 degrees in Detroit. And the Detroit Tigers do have a 4.43 implied run total. So you can make an argument that they are a pretty decent stack tonight at probably low ownership because of the Tigers, and no one likes stacking the Tigers. So Robbie Grossman, Jonathan Scope, Nomar Mazara, Miguel Cabrera, Harold Castro, Nico Goodrum, Willie Castro, Jake Rogers, Derek Hill. I would be willing to stack up this entire lineup pretty much 8 and 9 spots where you're getting a little bit risky. However, when you do wraparound stacks, that can pay off big for you in tournaments. So no issues with you going there whatsoever. Brad Keller taking on the Los Angeles Angels is a guy that I don't really like stacking against, although he doesn't really do the best job of striking hitters out and keeping guys off bases. He does do a very good job of keeping the ball on the ground. The ground ball, fly ball rates are very good against both sides of the plate. So for that reason, I don't really like targeting him as far as the Vegas lines are concerned. In this game, the Los Angeles Angels come with a 4.48 implied run total. I think they could go out there and score, 4 or 5 runs. I think they could have a decent game, probably win the game. But from a DFS aspect, I don't really see a lot of balls leaving the yard. Of course, you have elite bats like Rendon, Walsh, Ohtani that maybe when I dig into the pitch data, I like more. But I just don't think I'm going to be targeting Brad Keller. I don't like targeting him very frequently, and the same rule kind of applies for Brett Anderson, and he's next on the list. Ground ball, fly ball stuff's really good. However, he does give up a lot of slugging to righties, so if I'm able to find enough of elite righties off lefties, I will stack against him, and I definitely think the Reds do have quite a few of those type of bats. Guys like Nick Castellanos, Tyler Stevenson, Eugenio Suarez, those 3 specifically. Then you got Jonathan India at the top of the lineup. You can round it out with Scott Heineman and Kyle Farmer, but I mean, most notably, Castellanos and Tyler Stevenson really like left-handed pitching, so those 2 guys are going to stick out to me today for sure. Tyler Anderson taking on the Los Angeles Dodgers. Ground ball, fly ball, strikeout rate's really bad. Gives up a bunch of fly balls and hard contact to right-handed hitting, specifically a 484 slugging, 347 WOBA, 42.2% fly ball rate, and that's definitely going to be a juicy spot to be targeting some of these Los Angeles Dodgers right-handed bats. They have a 5.09 implied run total. In PNC Park, which isn't the greatest hitting environment, pulling up the Pittsburgh Stadium here, you can see not the best hitting environment in the world. However, when you have guys that get the ball like 400 feet, you don't have to worry about that. And especially when you're in a matchup like this with a guy that really struggles against those right-handed bats. So Mookie Betts, Justin Turner, Chris Taylor, Albert Pujols, AJ Pollock, Will Smith. Pretty much every single righty that cracks the lineup. And then if you want to get different, you can put Bellinger in your lineup and feel pretty good about that as well, because Cody Bellinger can hit anyone on any given night. So like the Dodgers stack, those righties like them. Braxton Garrett taking on the Colorado Rockies. We're only dealing with a 10 inning switch sample size. Ground ball, fly ball stuff has been very good. Has been giving up a lot of slugging. He is a left-handed pitcher. He is in Miami, which is a great pitcher's park, so hopefully, that'll help his case. And honestly, I don't get too excited targeting these Rockies. I'd have to really see some Vegas lines come out that would shock me and then dig into some pitch data. So keep an eye on those Vegas lines as far as that's concerned. Casey Mize taking on the Seattle Mariners. This guy's very easy to break down. He's very good against right-handed hitting. He's very, very bad against left-handed hitting. I swear every single time this guy takes the mound against a lefty, I see that so he has given up a home run. I'm not exaggerating. So that's where things are really starting to catch my eye. Like, every single time this guy takes the mound, you should be playing lefties against him. And it's really that bad. So J.P. Crawford, Kyle Seager, Shed Long, Taylor Trammell, Jake Fraley, Jose Godoy, Donnie Walton. I know those aren't the most elite left-handed bats, but it's starting to get to the point to me where I feel like if there are multiple left-handed bats in a lineup taking on Casey Mize, I have to play them because it's just been that bad. So yeah, a little bit of a side rant there, I guess, but it's really mind-blowing to me. This guy's supposed to be like one of the top prospects in the organization. He's looked very, very good against righties, against lefties. He's looked like he's like a single-A pitcher. So take that and write that on your notepad, I guess. Griffin Canning taking on the Kansas City Royals. Ground ball, fly ball stuff isn't the best. He does give up quite a bit of hard contact. He gives up a .495 slugging to righties specifically. Against lefties, he's not the greatest either. But against righties, he just gives up a bunch of slugging. So these Kansas City Royals righties are definitely going to be intriguing plays tonight. Guys with the most power: Whit Merrifield, Salvador Perez, Hunter Dozier, Jorge Soler, Kelvin Gutierrez, Michael Taylor. They could be an intriguing stack tonight that not many people are on. That could definitely pay off for you in tournaments, I think. And the only thing that's going to hold them back is if they strike out, because he does have a pretty high strikeout rate. But other than that, definitely a guy that I'm looking to target. We had mentioned Patrick Corbin's recent struggles. You can definitely target some Tampa Bay righties that really slug left-handed bats. They do have a couple. They're not the best lineup overall against left-handed pitching. That's why I said maybe Patrick Corbin. But the few righties that they do have, guys like Emmanuel Margot, Yandy Diaz, Randy Arozarena, Mike Brousseau, Mike Zunino, could definitely be playing them if you want to go to that stack. The Trop isn't the best hitting environment either, so that's a little bit of a letdown, but can definitely play them. And the last thing that I'll mention is Nathan Ivaldi taking on the Houston Astros. Does give up a lot of hard contact to right-handed hitting at .469 slugging, giving up .358 WOBA. Against lefties, he also can give up his fair share of hard contact. He is pretty good in the ground ball fly ball rate, however, so these Houston Astros are going to have to get the ball elevated for you to really like them in tournaments. And could definitely see you targeting the Houston Astros. And then lastly, the Red Sox do have a 5.35 implied run total. It's something that we didn't discuss that I should be talking to you guys about. Jake Odorizzi here taking on the Red Sox. Ground ball, fly ball, hard contact stuff is very bad. You can see on the sheet stands out as a lot of red. So maybe save the best for last. The Red Sox are definitely in a great spot here. Ground ball, fly ball stuff against righties is terrible. A .373 slugging given up there. And ground ball, fly ball stuff against lefties is terrible with a .426 slugging given up. So Odorizzi definitely giving up a lot of hard contact. The Red Sox definitely a great lineup to be targeting today, and definitely can stack these guys up and down. And with that being said, before I let you guys go, I got to give you my home run call of the day. Let's get into it. And my home run call of the day today is going to be Rafael Devers taking on Jake Odorizzi. We had just discussed his hard contact issues, and specifically against left-handed pitching, definitely has some issues. 45.7% fly ball rate against those lefties with a .426 slugging given up. Not going to get the job done, and then when you break down what he throws, really reliant on two pitches against left-handed hitting. First, it's going to be the fastball. Throws that about 55% of the time. It's rated about 93 miles an hour. And Rafael Devers crushes that pitch. A .311 ISO with a .343 WOBA. And as far as the secondary pitch, Odorizzi very reliant on the splitter, and Devers can crush that pitch as well. A .269 ISO with a .336 WOBA. Love this spot for Rafael Devers. Get him in your lineups because he is my home run call of the day. So there you have it, guys. Rafael Devers, get him in your lineups. And that is all from me in this one. If you did enjoy the content, if you could please leave a like on this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell, that would be greatly appreciated. Wish you guys all the best of luck tonight, and we will see you in the next one.